Good afternoon. Welcome to Monday Moments with Fran. I hope you are doing well. When I left home at 18 to move away to university, I really was very challenged in the first couple of months because everything was different. I moved from what would be considered to be quite a rural suburban area into an inner city. I moved from living in a house into living in a maisonette, which is like a 2-story flat, and living with people that I did not know. And it was so hard. Like, I honestly think I never prayed so hard in my life because everything was tough. The people I lived with were very different. How they did things, just their whole way of being was different. And when I, began to progress in the first year of uni, one of the things that I realized was that the way that I do things and the way that other people do things is incredibly different. And for a while, I kind of struggled with, well, is it them or was it me, and who's right and who's wrong? And one of the analogies that kind of really helped me to understand that sometimes it isn't about who's right or who's wrong, it's about a different perspective, is the question about where do you keep your ketchup? In my family, we kept the ketchup in the cupboard, yet other people kept it in the fridge. And the reality is, if I keep it in the cupboard, I can by no means say that you're wrong to keep it in the fridge, and vice versa. It's just about it being different. Sometimes I think we would get along with people a lot better if we understood that it's a matter of perspective and not just right or wrong. You can grow up in the same city, in the same family, and still have a very different perspective to somebody else purely because you've got a unique set of experiences, understanding, ways of being, emotional state that makes you unique. And it doesn't always mean that when we have a discussion with somebody or we're somewhere, that because they don't think the way that you think, that then they're wrong. It purely could be that it's just a different perspective. It's like, have you seen that little picture of the number 6, and there's somebody at the bottom end and they're saying it's a 6, and then somebody at the top end is saying, oh no, it's number 9, you're wrong, no, you're wrong. But in effect, they're both right. It's just, again, a different perspective. And so the encouragement for this week is, if you are challenged in any personal, work, whatever situations or relationships, just take a moment to reflect that it could be that it's not about who's right, who's wrong, it's a different perspective. And when we communicate, when we explain things, or how you came to a particular understanding, it can bring a peace. It may not bring a complete agreement, because sometimes we have to agree to disagree. And I'm not talking about things that are legal or moral or, really kind of off the wall. I'm talking about everyday things. In terms of how people do things or how they understand, it is about difference. And it's really important as we go through life to understand that difference, it's okay. And we need to embrace it at times, and also respect the fact that somebody else has got a different perspective and somebody else has got a different understanding. And how can we convey why we think the way that we think, rather than just say, yeah, but I'm right and you're wrong, because that doesn't help a healthy relationship in any way grow or develop. Because if I say I'm right, or if I say that I won, well, then I'm making the other person lose, or that they're wrong. And ultimately, we want win-win situations in areas of our lives, because then it's good for everybody, isn't it? So be encouraged. Don't assume if something is kicking off with somebody in your family or in your life or wherever, that it's a case of, well, they're in the wrong and you're in the right. But consider that it could be a different perspective, and how can you work together to come to a place of understanding. So yeah, that is it for this week. Have a fantastic week ahead. Please go and encourage somebody else. encouragement changes people's lives. It can change their day. It changes their whole frame of being. And we never know what is going on in someone's life aside from the smiles and the, yeah, I'm fine. Really and truly, some people need your encouragement, your wisdom, your love, your support, and it makes a massive amount of difference. So stay encouraged and have a blessed week. I shall see you next week.